Hey, this is Pizza Dude Man, back for more answers to your guys' questions. Before we get started on the questions today, as promised, I'd like to show off some of the fan art I received this month. First, from Zem Graphics. This is if I ever did an LP of World of Warcraft, and that's me as an undead priest, which is really cool because back when I played World of Warcraft in high school, that's what I played. I was an undead priest. So I must have mentioned that in a subscriber questions video or some other LP video at some point. And also from Zem Graphics, here is if I ever did a Nuzlocke of Pokemon X, as a follow-up to when I did a Nuzlocke of Pokemon Leaf Green last year. And now on with the questions. Our first group of questions today are all from Blizz M. What moveset, Final Smash, and Victory theme would you give Spyro the Dragon? I think the moveset it'll builds itself in a lot of ways. I mean, he can attack with his wings and tail and head and stuff like that, along with his special moves being the things that he uses in the game. You can fly around a bit, use your dash attack, use the downward headbutt attack thing, fire breath. Final Smash could be the Aether Breath, Fury Breath, whatever you want to call it. There's another name for it too. And the Victory thing would just be something from Spyro. If you could turn an animal into a superhero, what would it be and which superpowers? For some reason, the first animal that came to mind to me was Porcupine, maybe because they already kind of have a really special ability as far as animal goes. If they were a superhero, right, they could do things like, cover themselves completely up with spines, use their spines as projectiles, extend their spines, pull their spines off and use them as swords, stuff like that. If you could do Soul Calibur for another series than Fire Emblem, which other series would you make characters off of? Now, I'm trying to remember, besides Fire Emblem, we did one of Full Metal Alchemist, and we might have done one of another anime too. I had plans for that. The next one I was going to do was actually Naruto. The only thing was I had to make sure I didn't just make everybody Natsu. What would you think if Birdo got into Smash? What would her final Smash be? I mean, Birdo wouldn't be my first choice, but it's another recurring Mario character with enough to offer as far as unique moveset goes, so I think that would be fine. I think her final Smash could be like Roberto, which was one of the bosses from Super Mario Bros. 2 Advance. Or what was it? It was Super Mario Advance, which was Super Mario Bros. 2. I'm getting all my words mixed up here. But yeah, she either could just become or pilot the Roberto boss from that game. Which would have her same moves, but she's bigger and more powerful. What is your favorite fossil Pokemon? Tyrant and Tyrantrum. Those are my favorites. I know this probably won't happen, but what would you think of Toxicroak for Smash representing Team Galactic in a potential DP remake? You could have a Team Galactic-inspired Final Smash, and the potential moves, Sludge Bomb, Poison Jab, Pursuit, Sucker Punch, Revenge. I actually like that idea of having a representative like that from 4th gen. I mean, the only thing is we already have Lucario, so yeah, I don't think it would actually happen. But if something like that were to happen, I would actually prefer Krogunk, simply because I think Krogunk has a little more publicity, let's say. He had kind of a larger role in the anime, and also he's playable in Pokken Tournament, isn't he? I hope I'm not getting that mixed up. So I think Krogunk would be generally better for that purpose. What would you rather have for Smash? Ganondorf's moveset gets taken over by Black Shadow and Ganondorf gets a brand new moveset, or Ganondorf's moveset stays, but Ganon appears in Smash with an original moveset while keeping Ganondorf the same. Those are both proposals I've heard, just for the sake of having Ganon or Ganondorf with a truly unique moveset, right? The moveset of a Legend of Zelda villain. Of the two options, I like option B better, keeping Ganondorf as he is, and then just making Ganon with an original moveset. If you were to make a moveset for yourself, but with each move based off your LPs you did, what would it be? I'd probably stick to what's been my most popular LPs. So I would build up a fighting style off of punches based off of Punch-Out, but to differentiate from Little Mac's fighting style, it would be like a mishmash of the punches of all the villain boxers, as I'm going to call them for the sake of this question. As for special moves, Oh boy, let me think. I know my final smash would be the blue tornado attack that I overused in Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Maybe I could have like a sniper rifle attack from Mass Effect. And, a lot of my classic LPs, I referenced using French horns. So, because that was a joke in Scribblenauts and Kirby. So maybe I could do that. And, I'm not really sure what else on that. Maybe I could have some kind of Pokemon. So maybe for my up B, I ride on my Fearow, like from the Pokemon Leaf Green Nuzlocke. So that's what I'm thinking for now, as far as my moveset goes. What would be your top 3 3DS games you'd LP if you had the right recording equipment? Fire Emblem Fates Birthright, Fire Emblem Fates Conquest, Fire Emblem Fates Revelation. If you want to count Fire Emblem Fates as one, then also Fire Emblem Awakening and the Pokemon games. A lot of them. X, Alpha Sapphire, Sun. I would do a lot if I had the 3DS capture equipment. There'd be a lot I wanted to do with that. Would you rather do a Nuzlocke LP of Pokemon X, Y, or a Pokemon Sun, Moon? Oh, I'd want to do both, but I personally like Sun more. So I'd go with that, I suppose. Our next question here is from PSB123. Have you considered making a video with a unique victory theme for every character on your SSP5 roster, with maybe Squirtle and Ivysaur being in there as a bonus? Pretty please? I haven't thought about that until this question just now. So I guess that's the answer is no, I have not considered that. I will consider it now, I suppose. We have a few more questions here from Blizz M. What would you think if Ice Climbers had their own second game? And if they did it, what would this second game be like, and how would it be improved? How about a game where you use the Ice Climbers to explore different icy mountainous regions? They're all fictional, but they all have different types of obstacles and enemies and stuff. And it could still be a co-op adventure game. That's what I'm thinking. Do you think you'd ever LP a Metroid or Star Fox game? Oh, I'm planning on it. I've been planning for a long time to do Star Fox Adventures as kind of a way to put my money where my mouth is, where I keep on saying that Star Fox Adventures was a good game that I enjoyed when I was younger. So I definitely want to do that someday to see if I still feel the same way as an adult years later. And as for Metroid, I'm planning at some point doing like back-to-back rush of like all the Metroid games, just because I haven't done them. When I do, I had a couple of different ideas of how I want to do it, but I actually might instead start by doing Metroid Other M. The reason for that being, before I experience what people call the good Metroid games, maybe if I experience Metroid Other M first, I won't have as bad of an opinion of it because I won't be comparing it to other things. So we'll see. Those are some of the ideas that I've had for doing Metroid and Star Fox. What is 469,912 divided by 778? Without looking, I want to say it's 604. So let me double check that now. Copy, paste. This is legit. Paste and search. It is 604. Yes. All right. Our next question here is from PSB123. One time after my mom had gone to sleep, I printed out a picture of JonTron with a shocked face and hung it from the ceiling outside her door. Our dog noticed this at about 2:30 in the morning and started barking up a storm, waking my mom up. If you and Rosie ever had kids and a dog, how'd the two of you react if one of those kids did this to you? I would think it's funny and probably do like an under my breath chuckle and then tell them not to do that because it'll wake your mother up, and Rosie would be pissed. Our next question is from Ullist77. What are your thoughts on Dragon Ball Fighter Z? As a longtime Dragon Ball and fighting game fan, this was always a dream come true. Are you also considering covering it on your channel? I don't know if I'd say Dragon Ball Fighter Z is a dream come true for me. but it looks awesome. I really like this idea of an anime-style 2D Dragon Ball fighting game. That is very, very exciting for me, and I'm going to at least do a versus video on it on my channel. If there's more to it that I really want to do in the channel and show off, then I'll do that too. But it is a game I am definitely planning on getting. Our next questions are from Blizz M. It's my destiny to make Thrall from Warcraft appear in Smash 4, but I want him to have an original moveset and I know nothing about hacking. Do you know how to fulfill that wish? I would try to talk to some developers that worked on Project M. That is definitely not my area of expertise. Which Pokken Tournament character is your favorite? And if you could add another Pokemon in Pokken Tournament, who would it be, why, and what would be its moves? My favorite is Sceptile, because Sceptile is my favorite Pokemon of all time. If I could add another, man, the Pokemon I always wanted to see in Pokken Tournament was Hawlucha, because I was like, oh man, you could have a big flying luchador character, but then they added Pikachu Libre instead. I was actually a little disappointed. So instead of Hawlucha, if we're not going to have Hawlucha, then I guess I'd go with Pangoro. And the way I think he could fight is he could be like a big Yakuza-themed bruiser. And I don't know why I thought of this, but I was thinking for some of his moves too, he could wield like a short stick of bamboo, as if it were a small katana, like a Nodachi or a Wakizashi, and use that to fight. I said, I'm not really even sure what made me think of that, but I thought it'd be really cool. What Pokken Tournament moveset would you give one of my faves, Passimian? What would be its burst attack? Oh, let me think. With Passimian, you could do a thing where he, like, is throwing or kicking his, I think they technically call it a berry. It looks like a melon. He's just throwing that around at the opponent and, like, ricocheting it around the stage back to himself. So he's passing that ball between himself. And then for his burst attack, going off of like Pokedex description of Passimians, you summon a bunch of other Passimians, and then all you do is like back and forth, throw the ball around all over the place rapidly, or maybe you're passing a bunch of balls around like so fast it just is rapidly hitting opponents from all sides with the ball. That was my idea for Passimian. Callum Weatherall asks, have you seen any of the Alien films? And if so, what is the one you love the most? I have barely seen any of the Alien films. Actually, Rosie's seen them all. She did a big binge of them. The ones I've seen, I don't know if this counts, but I actually do like Alien vs. Predator, just for the novelty. If we're going purely with Alien films, I guess I gotta go with the first Alien. I've only seen the first two. If Nintendo wasn't a thing, would you have a YouTube channel? I think so. I think I'd find some other group of games that I would have fallen in love with as a kid. I mean, one of the big influences as a kid for me getting into gaming were my older cousins. And besides doing a lot of like Mario and Donkey Kong Country and stuff with them, they had a Genesis and were really into Sonic. So, I mean, just imagine this. If Nintendo wasn't a thing, it'd probably be Sega and Sonic that would be the big equivalent. So, I think I'd still be into it. Waffles the Apprentice asks, if there was a Justice League made of video game characters, who should be on it and why? Well, let me think. You need a group of characters that stand for good moral judgment and are well-known figures to society. So how about Mario, Link, Solid Snake, Mega Man, Sonic. Solid Snake's like the Batman of the group, right? So there we go. Mario, Link, Mega Man, Solid Snake, Sonic. Sonic's like the Flash of the group. Oh, that's pretty good. I know that's only 5, but we'll end it there. Here's a couple questions from Musomania27. If you could choose what video game and anime universes you could live in, what would be your top 5 choices for each? Let's see here. I listed them out. For video games, in no particular order, Pokemon, Because it's relatively not super dangerous, because even though there's all these wild creatures and stuff around, they really don't attack people unless you're in the Land of Ore, where Pokemon Coliseum and XD take place. So it's really just a regular world, but with these animal fights that are okay and not immoral and fun. Animal Crossing, because it's just like a regular place, but with some added conveniences, like you can just store all your furniture in little leaves that then you throw down and they pop up. Mega Man Battle Network, kind of the same thing as Pokemon. It's pretty much a regular world, but everyone has these net navies that they use to fight each other online, and that sounds pretty fun. Number 4, Splatoon. There are some conflicts with Octolings and such, but otherwise it's just a fun world where everyone's a squid and has a big sport where they splat ink everywhere. It's a paintball world. And Scribblenauts. I don't know. I don't think everyone can use that power that Maxwell has, but you know, it's a pretty normal world where anything can be created. So that's pretty neat. For anime, My Hero Academia, not a very safe world, but there's a very high chance that you'll have a really cool quirk in there. On that note, I think in the last subscriber questions, or one of the recent ones, someone was asking some My Hero Academia questions. I couldn't answer them because I hadn't seen it. I have seen it now. So, yay! It was really good. I liked it a lot. Konosuba. That'd be a fun world to live in because everyone gets to pick an RPG class, and you get the abilities of that class just by, you know, doing stuff and party up. It's an RPG world. That'd be fun. Howl's Moving Castle. Now, I know I've made fun of Howl himself a lot, but the environment there is still fun. I mean, Miyazaki worlds are really, really cool. And if I had to pick one to live in, like, the Moving Castle is a cool location. So, I'll go with that as long as Howl's not there. I could put up with him. Log Horizon, same idea as Konosuba, RPG world, pick a class, have fun. Sounds good to me. And Fairy Tail. I guess this one's kind of like My Hero Academia. It's a dangerous world, sure, but you don't have to be part of the danger if you don't want to be, and everyone can still use magic. You can still practice magic. So that's what I came up with for my top 5 video game and anime worlds I would want to actually live in. Thoughts on The World Ends With You? What moveset Final Smash taunts, victory theme, codec, guidance calls would you give to Neku, the main character? Question also applies to Shantae and Gunvolt. Boy, I think the only one I'm going to be able to answer in full is Shantae. Let me start with The World Ends With You. That game came out, I believe, like 10 years ago at this point. I've heard they might be doing an iOS version, or maybe they already are. I'm not sure. I never had the game myself. I watched some friends play it, and then I watched a full LP of it later to try to get the gist of it. And I had a little bit trouble following it. I think the moveset kind of goes along with just how you play the game, you know. Gosh, how does it work? You equip the pins, which give you different abilities that you shoot, and so just going along with that, I don't think I could answer each one of these things individually, but the game, I thought, from what I remember seeing of it, was really unique. I was hoping they'd do more follow-ups to it so I could experience more of it. I have to go back and play it at some point for myself. But it's something that would be really, really fun to see more of. As for applying the same question to Shantae and Gunvolt, I actually have only seen like bits of Gunvolt, like trailers and stuff. I mean, I'm assuming his moveset's gonna be, once again, just stuff that applies to his powers. Then the victory theme is something that, you know, is a victory theme from there, and, you know, yada, yada, yada. Let me answer the question in full for Shantae, though, since I actually have played quite a bit of Shantae. Moveset, of course, would involve using her hair and maybe some of her other magical weapons, too. Maybe you can incorporate some of the stuff that she uses in Shantae and the Pirate's Curse for her regular moveset. And then for, like, special moves, you could do transformations. I'm wondering how you would do the transformations. Maybe you could like transform into the different animals, and then when you transform into an animal, they have like special attributes and attacks of their own, but the special moves just make you turn back to Shantae, or maybe you can only use the animals under certain circumstances. Maybe the special moves are all just different animal abilities, like, oh, the up B is the spider, or side B is elephant, or things like that. Or you could just have transforming be one special move and have the other special moves be other Shantae magical abilities, like, fire or lightning or things like that. Victory theme would be, I think there's some special theme that plays when you like beat a boss or get an item. You just do stuff like that. Codec or guidance calls. Well, I'm sure that if you were to do a Palutena's guidance for Shantae, they would talk about like her genie heritage and stuff like that. I guess you get the same kind of information out of the Palutena's guidance and codec calls. They talk about her origin as a character and how she fights against pirates and stuff like that. So I don't know, kind of, it's not a super specified answer, including Neku and Gunvolt there, but that's what I got. Here's a question from Admiral N30. If they made an N64 Classic Edition, which games do you think they should add? Super Mario 64, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Donkey Kong 64, Yoshi's Story, Star Fox 64, Kirby and the Crystal Shards, Paper Mario, and then after that, I'm not sure if you'd want to do like multiplayer games, because for the N64, those were 4-player, like, that might get kind of messy for a mini edition, so I'm not sure. If you did include multiplayer games, oh man, then F-Zero X, Super Smash Brothers. Besides that, man, it would be fun if they could incorporate Banjo-Kazooie and GoldenEye 007, but I mean, that's going to be dependent on how much they're going to collaborate with other companies on that. I'm not sure. I mean, they've had some other like third-party games in like the SNES Mini, and I think the NES Mini had some too. Yeah, of course it did, because it had like Ghosts and Goblins and Final Fantasy, I think. So maybe you could do Mega Man 64. That'd be pretty cool. And what would be funny, or would be cool actually, is on the Super Nintendo Mini, right? One of the big special things there is that you can play Star Fox 2, which was never released. So what if on the N64 Mini you could play the original 3D version of Mother 3, right? If you guys didn't know, Mother 3 was originally going to be an N64 game, and they had like trailers and demos and betas of it, so they could finish it like the N64 version of Mother 3 and release that. And that could be the Mother 3 localization. What do you think? I think it'd be kind of cool, even if it's a little bit different. It'd be kind of cool. Here's a few more questions from PSP123. What are your thoughts on Linkle, the character's personality, the idea behind her, and her story in Hyrule Warriors Legends? Honestly, I like it all. I think Linkle's a fun, cute, new character that, gives us the female Link to play as. I think she's a really fun character, and I think her story is fun to go with it. I don't have much more to say on it. I mean, she's a simple idea for a character, but I think they pull her off well. What do you think of Corrin in both Fire Emblem Fates and Smash Brothers? Corrin is kind of weird. It's a good idea for a protagonist, someone who wants to do what's good and right, but sees that good and right from the two people fighting and wants to bring them together if they can. The only problem I have with Corrin's personality is that Corrin is really, really agreeable. What I mean by that is he or she seems to get along with every single other character's support because they're like, oh, you do this weird thing? I'm cool with that. I will start learning to like it too. Even in situations where it's like, I don't know, man, that is just a little bit weird. I don't know. Like it kind of makes it feel like Corrin doesn't have a personality of their own. It's just their personality is being agreeable with everyone else's ideas, which is I don't think that's necessarily bad. I actually don't mind Corrin. There are some people who are like, Corrin's the best lord, and some people are like, Corrin's the most boring lord ever. I think Corrin's okay, honestly. In Smash Brothers, I think they give Corrin a really great fitting moveset that makes it unique enough from other characters from Fire Emblem in Smash Brothers. Being able to assign more than one music track to a custom-made Smash stage and having backgrounds and pieces and whatnot based on locations from Nintendo franchises, yay or nay? Oh, yay. Yay. If they announced those were features of making custom stages in Smash Brothers, that'd be awesome. Our next couple of questions here are from Chicken Krispies. Since Retro Studios isn't working on Prime 4, what project do you hope they are currently working on? More Donkey Kong? I want to see more Donkey Kong. The Donkey Kong Country Return games have been a blast. I don't want them to stop. What is your favorite animated series from Marvel and DC each? Ooh, of all time? For Marvel, I'm going to go with Spectacular Spider-Man. I think I already talked about before that I really like Spider-Man, and I think Spectacular Spider-Man was a really well done show showcasing Spider-Man. And for DC, I have such a soft spot for the original Teen Titans series. I grew up with that one, so I'm gonna go with that. Spectacular Spider-Man and Teen Titans. And our last couple of questions here are from Smash Bros. 2009. If two Smash Bros. Characters fuse, what would be their name, moves, and overall appearance? Okay, let's randomly pick two Smash Bros. Characters here. Okay, we got Bowser and Mega Man. So let's just go straight across the board and fuse them all. First, their name would be like Bowsman or no, Megazord. And that sounds like a Power Rangers villain. Okay, so their overall moves, right, would be like Bowser's attacks, but with Mega Man's elements. So like his jump forward smash is like a flaming claw, and his jump like upward attack is like a headbutt that shoots a tornado out of it. And his forward smash is a headbutt that shoots lasers out of his horns. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Okay, and then there's special moves. Let me think. His B move is shooting flaming, like, buzzsaws out of his mouth. And his side B, what's Mega Man's side B again? Why can't I remember? Oh yeah, right, so his side B is he grabs the opponent, sticking two bombs to their back, jumps up, slams them to the ground, and then after he releases them from slamming to the ground, then they explode from the bombs that have been placed on them. And then the up B is summoning Rush, who has been combined with some kind of evil Yoshi. And he springs you up, but you rapidly spin while you're being sprung up on him, so you do damage as well. And then the down B, you do a giant slam into the ground while you're covered in leaves. And then for your final smash, you summon a bunch of Bowsers, but then you just play them as them all at the same time. And you're just like a big team of Giga Bowsers that attacks everything. So there we go. That's the move set. That's the move set of Megazord. Oh, and overall appearance of Megazord, I think it would just look like a blue robotic Bowser with like details like Mega Man's helmet and stuff like that. That's what I'm thinking. Did you ever play any card games like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon? Oh yeah, definitely, both. I played Pokemon card game when I was a young kid. I never got like really good at it, like competitive at it, but I had the cards and I knew how to play the game, and I'd occasionally play the game with my dad or with Taylor or with other people. Yu-Gi-Oh was the big one I got into. Taylor introduced me into Yu-Gi-Oh when we were in middle school, and I really got into it, built a deck, and we played Yu-Gi-Oh all the way through middle school and all the way through high school, and a little bit into college as well. So Yu-Gi-Oh was the big one that I grew up with, and I still have my Yu-Gi-Oh deck, and I used it earlier this summer. Seth brought his Yu-Gi-Oh deck that I helped him make when he was younger, when he was a kid, and we dueled. It was fun. I still like pulling out Yu-Gi-Oh every now and then because I still have that stuff. Now, besides that, I do know how to play Magic the Gathering, and all my friends do now, like Taylor and all the other guys and Rosie. They all play Magic, and they all collect Magic cards. And I never got into it because I didn't want to spend as much money on Magic as I already had on Yu-Gi-Oh! I got much more into collecting more video games that are like, hey, I purchased this once and then I have it forever. So I never got into buying Magic cards. I haven't bought trading cards since probably high school. I don't think I've ever bought any new cards in college. But I know how to play Magic. So if someone lends me a deck, then I can play Magic. Which, for the record, the last 2 times that I have been lent a deck to play Magic with, I have won. Hooray! Have you heard of any of these people frequently used in YouTube poop? ActiveRog, Mark Sabine, or Tim from Grand Illusions? None of them. Sorry. Have you been or plan to watch Rick and Morty's 3rd season? So far, we've only seen the first episode, but we plan to watch the whole thing. Rosie's a huge Rick and Morty fan, and I enjoyed the show as well. And the final question today. I've been waiting for this one, to be honest. Here it is. What are your longest played 3DS games and times according to your activity log? Before this question, I wasn't even aware that the 3DS actually has an activity log that tells you what your longest, most played 3DS games are. And I'm kind of stalling for now because I'm loading up my 3DS here. So, I'm going to give you Pizza Dude Man Guy's top 10 most played 3DS games. Okay, here we go. Number 10, Pokemon Sun with 39 hours and 28 minutes. Number 9, Mario & Luigi Dream Team at 41 hours and 4 minutes. Number 8, Miitopia at 43 hours and 28 minutes. Number 7, Pokemon White version 2 at 63 hours and 56 minutes. Number 6, Tomodachi Life at 68 hours and 54 minutes. Number 5, Pokemon Alpha Sapphire at 91 hours 31 minutes. Number 4, Super Smash Bros. For 3DS at 227 hours even. Number 3, Pokemon X at 228 hours and 51 minutes. Number 2, Fire Emblem Awakening at 2,061 hours and 1 minute. And number 1, Fire Emblem Fates at 2,085 hours and 50 minutes. And with that, that's all the questions for this time. Leave your questions for next month below. And if any of you send me any fan art, I will post it next month. And we will see you next month for more answers. Got a lot of new LPs coming out soon, so I hope you enjoy them. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. I stole that from Peanut Butter Gamer.